Hey there, ladies. Hello, hello, and good morning. I cannot believe I had all of the craziest tech things happening today. I always have a thought every now and then that, I don't know, whenever I schedule something, and I know you guys can understand, whenever you schedule something and you're very intentional about it happening and coming to life, all the things. Hi, everybody. It was like a nightmare. I'm like, here I am ready to do all the things, excited about teaching you all today. And it was an echo, and then doing all these really weird tech stuff. But we are here. Good morning, ladies, or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to Finding Your Flow. Okay. I just sent out an email to everyone saying, hey, listen, come join me on the Momathon Diaries page. I want to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to get that information to their email. I see you all coming through. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Janisha said the devil tried it and it didn't work. I don't know if the devil has minions that work on tech. I just don't know. But I feel as though today was the day. If they were on their job, today was the day. Okay. Do me a favor, drop a fire symbol in the chat if you're ready for Find Your Flow. I have my coffee here with me. I'm excited and ready to teach. Hi, Nicole. Good morning, Sade. Good afternoon. I'm so glad you guys are here. I hope that you all have a pen and some paper because you know when we do masterclasses, we're going to learn some things, we're going to challenge ourselves, and we're going to implement, okay? For those of you who you might be new here, this is the best way for you to spend an hour. Okay, somebody said, I found you. OMG, I thought I missed it. No, you didn't. Crazy tech stuff, okay? But this is the absolute best way for you to spend your time this afternoon and even as you go into the new year, okay? We all are looking to finish strong. We're all looking to amplify our voices and really work on going into the new year feeling like I got it together. I'm feeling like I got it together. No matter if you are wrangling multiple children, okay? If you're trying to stay synced with your husband, you're trying to work on your business endeavors, you sis are doing all of the things. This masterclass, this workshop is just a really ideal way for you to navigate going into that next season, okay? And so today we are going to train. We're going to teach on 5 questions. 5 questions that you need to ask yourself so that you are hitting your goals in half the time, okay? I want you to take 20 seconds and press share on this video. I want you to take a second and send it to your best friend, your goal friend, that sis that you text with back and forth when you're strategizing, when you're working on plans, when you're creating something new, okay? I want you to take a second and send this video to her, especially if she is a superstar woman leader and she's working on getting it together too, okay? She's working on getting it together too. I want to set the agenda for our time together today also. All right. We're going to be together for about an hour, maybe an hour and 20, in order to really work through our questions and do some good explaining. Okay. I want you all to have your Q&A ready. You all know I live for Q&A. I absolutely love it. I love getting the mirror into you all's world, into your universe and what you're feeling challenged with, okay? And so we're going to do Q&A towards the end. And then for those of you who are like, who is this sister with this mohawk? And she is just so cute. And I just know that she's my person. We'll also talk more about what the Momathon community has coming up next and how you can be a part. Does that sound good for everybody? Hey, Nicole says she is ready. She has her pretty journal from the conference. Of course you do. All right. So we'll be here about 90 minutes and you can leave with all of the steps that you need in order to take action. All right. In order for you to look at your schedule, look at the things that are in front of you and be the woman that grabs it and moves full steam ahead. Yeah. All right. So if you don't know me, I saw a lot of amazing names and women on the list. I was like, wait a second, I don't know her. This is so great. And so if you guys are new here to me, some of my ladies said they shared the webinar, they shared the masterclass. If I had you all's emails, I added you to that list because I want to make sure that you all get to know me and I want to know you all as well. Okay. So if you're new here to our community, I am Christina Garrett. I am a pastor's wife and a homeschooling mom of 5 incredible but very loud children. And every time they hear me say that, they get a little, they're like, Mom, do you have to say that? But I totally had to do the disclaimer before I came in my go live area and taught this class, because my children are just like you all's children, raging buffalo. Okay, they're going to move, they're going to be loud, they're going to be laughing, they're going to be living and enjoying being home. And so I have the honor of homeschooling them, having them close to us during this very delicate season of our life. I'm not a person that thinks homeschooling is for everybody, but we do want to make sure that you have the tools you need in order to be the woman that you want to be. All right. I think I have the best job in the world. Whenever anybody asks me, I am a productivity coach for working mothers, for women leaders, for those who are charged with the task of being a change maker. Okay. Those women who are innovators, who are passionate about their work. These are the women who are changing the world. And I get the opportunity to help them organize their busy lives so that they can move forward with tenacity and with fervor, that they know exactly what they're doing, when they're supposed to be doing it, how they need to do it in order to streamline their efforts. Okay. The women that usually come to find me are coaches and consultants and therapists, and I have some political leaders and actors that comes in every now and then, nonprofit founders, consultants, speakers, women who know that their voices are aligned to change the world. Okay. I want you to just wave at me for a second if you know that your voice is needed to change the world. I know I have something powerful to say. I know that the world is waiting on me to really step forward, show up. But in order for me to do that, I have to do what? I got to organize my life, and I have to find the flow that works for me, that works for my family, that works for my season of life. And so the women, they come and they trickle in when they say, Christina, I have these audacious goals. I see you guys. Christina, I have this big idea. Christina, I know I'm supposed to be this person, but for some reason right now, there's some things going on in my life that are slowing my progress down, that are prohibiting me from being this person. For some reason, I'm not really sure what's going on or how it's working, but oh my goodness, I know for a fact that I'm not operating at my highest potential. I'm not operating at my highest potential. And then how do I do it? I have started and stopped. I have started working on the idea. I got distracted. I got really intent. I drank my coffee this morning. I did all the things, Christina. And then somebody came to find me and they called my name and they needed me. I have this idea. I have this vision. I know God showed it to me. I know it's for me, but how do I move past what's going on in my head? How do I go past my challenges that I'm having with my husband? I did a post the other day and I sent out an email. Ooh, y'all opened up that email. I did a whole email and a post series about your husband being jealous of your success. Is he really? Is that what's really happening? Or are we becoming the person that gets distracted and our work-life balance is literally 1 star? Am I the person? I have these big goals, this exciting vision, these ideas. I have so many ideas. Which one do I do first? Which one is going to be the most lucrative? Why am I having such a hard time making a decision about this? And so brilliant women come to me when they say, I know I got something good going on. I know for a fact that God is calling me to something major and I'm ready to get out of my own head and move past where I've been stuck. Okay. But I did not start out this way. And some of you who've been here trucking with me for a while, you all know these stories. But for those who are new, we have so many new ladies. I like to coach and speak on the intangibles. Okay. Whenever something is tangible, it's like touchable, right? It's like, okay, I can reach out. I can touch my laptop, my phone. I can do all those things. I can touch that. But there are a lot of things that slow our progress down, that stifle us, right? that stifle our progress, but it's because of the intangible things. It's what I cannot touch. Somewhere in between posting about being glad that we're in therapy, right? I'm healing, I'm making progress, I'm so evolved, I'm such a gentle parent. I'm not a gentle parent, but for those of you who are, right? I'm such a gentle parent, and we're sharing the posts that are talking about all of this. And then we're in the business classes and we're learning and we're reaching for the stars and all of these kind of things, right? In between these two areas is some very muddy in between ground. Some very muddy, I can't quite put my finger on what's not working. I can't quite figure it out. I don't know what it is, but I know for a fact that there's something that is happening that's not progressive. That's not helping me to move forward, okay? And so a lot of people don't talk about the intangibles. A lot of people don't talk about what we cannot touch, but it's very much so a stifling moment for us as we grow as women leaders, okay? And so I decided that it was my job to talk about the things, mostly from the standpoint of just wanting to be honest about my life experience, okay? I wanted to be honest about where I was as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, as a ministry wife, right? Because my husband was already in ministry when we got engaged, got married. So I just want to be honest about my lived experience. When my oldest son was 18 months, we went to the doctor, found out I was pregnant. She did the ultrasound goo on the stomach. And I wondered, could she see, like, I saw two bubbles on the screen that look like this. I saw these two bubbles and I said, ma'am, can you see the baby's eyes so soon in the pregnancy? Somebody laugh at me in the comments. Ma'am, I'm 24, 23. Ma'am, can you see the baby's eyes this soon, these two bubbles? She said, oh no, sweetheart, you're having twins. So you can be kind of cool, kind of together with one kid. But when we went from one child, one toddler, we were doing okay, to parents of 3 children aged 2 and under, survival mode was an understatement. Survival mode was an understatement, okay? So over 10 years ago, I just started talking about my experience. Yes, Nicole, she hit me with the, oh no, sweetheart. Oh, sweet older lady. She was like, no, baby. My feelings, my husband almost dropped our child. I screeched, what? Clearly God has the wrong address. He doesn't know how poor we are. He had no idea, right? And so I just started, when my twins were maybe 1 or 2, talking about my lived experience. And I started a blog. Okay, I started a blog just to talk about how I was working through my personal emotions, how it's hard to navigate and balance out all of the things. I got 3 little people that are calling on me constantly. They're pulling on me. They have needs. I'm exhausted. Back then, 10 years ago, 13 years ago, nobody was talking about postpartum depression, were they? Where you just felt like crying all the time. Nobody was talking about these things. No one was talking about organizing your life. If you went to therapy, it was because you were crazy. Like all of these things. Now, if you don't have a therapist, people think there's something wrong with you, right? If you don't have some kind of mentor or some kind of, people say, oh, what's wrong? Of course you should have this. But 10 years ago, 13 years ago, when my twins were born and I was sitting outside in the hallway crying about my life, so exhausted, so worn out. My husband would just come home and hand me ice cream and tell me to go outside and sit in the car for 30 minutes on his lunch break. He didn't know what was wrong with me. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I just felt like it was raining all the time. I felt like it was raining all the time. I really didn't have this sense or this grasping of where I was, okay? I didn't know how to find my flow. Okay, so I got to move past that point, and I was just working on leaning into my season, okay, where I was able to see Proverbs 14:1, Okay. Proverbs 14:1 says, a wise woman builds her house, but a foolish one tears it down with her own hands. I had to learn how to lean into my season. Somebody put in the comments, lean. We're going to pretend like we're at church today. Somebody say, lean into my season. I had to learn to lean in. I had to realize that running away from home every day was not going to work. I had to learn to lean in. Okay. So for those of you who are navigating through various types of seasons, okay, baby, we cannot, nor do we want to fast forward 10 years from now to hurry up and get to where we want to be. Okay. Yes. In the preacher's wife voice, Janisha, lean into the season. I don't want to fast forward 10 years, right? My son is probably going to be grown and married by then. I don't want to fast forward. I don't want to miss this time. I want to soak it in. I want to absorb all of this beautiful life that God has given me. I don't want to run away from this season. But there was a period of time where I felt like if I can just get there faster, if I can just move to that place faster, life will be so much better. Okay. And so I had to learn how to sit in this discomfort. I had to let my husband tell me, baby, God's doing something in your life. And I'm like, no, he's not. Has anybody ever given you like a word and you're like, never mind? That's false. You're prophet lying. That's not the case for me, right? My husband told me, he said, baby, this challenging time in your life, God is going to use this to get you somewhere. And I felt like this is all false. You can say that because you have the ability to do that. I don't have that ability. I'm stuck at home with your children. I'm this, I'm that. I'm in this bubble. I see all these limitations. I refuse to let my eyes see anything other than my limitations. Okay? But when I gave myself the gift of believing that, when I gave myself the gift of taking the blinders off of my eyes and saying, wow, what a beautiful season I'm in. Yeah, my kids talk a lot. This is a beautiful season. Yeah, I'm still figuring out some things, but this is a beautiful season. I don't want to bypass this season. I don't want to miss it. And so I've been able to lean into Momathon, right? That turned from a blog. I started a Facebook page not long after that. Okay, so a lot of you guys found me on Facebook. I started a Facebook page, made it up to like 300 or 400 followers, y'all. This is like back in the day before algorithms and things. And then in 2016, yeah, my husband was hit by a car crossing the street. I did a video about how important it is to pray for your loved ones. And then I went viral. I went viral just like that. Okay. And I was like, wait a second. My following went from like 500 to like 10,000 overnight. I'm talking about like not fake 10,000. I mean like engaged 10,000 people. I had messages, hundreds of messages in my DMs from women who are like, here's where I am right now. I went from here to there like that. Okay. Momathon has gone from a blog to a Facebook group. We have just completed our 8th annual conference. Okay. Every single year for the last 8 years, including during the pandemic, we've had an event. Okay. And it has moved from being a Facebook page to a international coaching and consulting agency, firm, whatever you want to call it, where we have consulting on a productivity, work-life balance level for multiple organizations like Hyatt Hotels, the Housing Authority, universities around the country. It's been a beautiful ride. Okay. And then in conjunction with that, I've been very honored to contribute to some very amazing media outlets, CNN, Forbes, Yahoo Lifestyle, Fox News, Red Table Talk. We've been on there. Sweet July, CNN, and then the GOATs of Black Women Excellence. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 Essence features in the last 18 months. Okay. And there's a 5th one that's on the way. Okay. 5 in the last 18 months. Okay. So we're not new to this. We didn't just start talking about women, motherhood when it got convenient during the pandemic. We've been doing this for a long, long time. Okay. And so as we go into more of the teaching, you know about me, you know about the agenda for the day, grab your pens and let's talk about 5 questions that you need to ask yourself as you are finding your flow, as you're discovering what's going to work for you, as you're creating a life that you don't want to press fast forward and miss out on some really amazing and beautiful life experiences. Okay. Sip your coffee. You're in the right place. Okay. Y'all ready? Question number 1 on finding your flow. Have you tapped into your self-awareness? Okay. I have multiple clients who are mental health professionals, therapists, psychiatrists, counselors of all different kinds. Okay. And even based on my research, I don't have the book in this on my bookshelf in here with me, but he talks about symptoms of burnout and emotional exhaustion. Okay. And as I unearthed what emotional exhaustion looks like, I leaned into study what you all said overwhelm and burnout looks like for you as a mother, as a woman leader, as somebody who is balancing a multifaceted life and existence. Okay. And so here's what you all told me. You might have missed this poll. It was like 6 months or a year ago when I did this, but something tells me it's still very much valid. Okay. Extreme fatigue, being exhausted. Just drop a wave in the comments if when I call out your symptom. Okay. Extreme fatigue, tightness in your chest, tightness in your back. When I start to get overwhelmed or overstimulated, when I'm overstimulated, it shows up here in this area right here. I can tell my husband, baby, I'm fine. And he says, no, you got a knot. It's always right here on this side. He says, you got a knot on this side. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm not fine. I might need sex. Right? Okay. So somebody said, I have great life balance, but my business isn't growing and neither is my income. We're going to talk about that too. Okay. So let's talk about our self-awareness. Extreme fatigue, tightness in our chest and in our back. Somebody said overspending and overeating. Overspending and overeating when you're overwhelmed, burned out, frustrated. Somebody said emotional repression, operating like a robot. I just go into what I'm supposed to do next. Okay. I just go into what I'm supposed to do next. I'm not even feeling my emotions. I feel disappointed. I feel frustrated. I feel joy. I'm just going to the next thing, Christina, like a robot. Somebody said my motivation is low. I don't even want to do the things that I said I wanted to do. I always lean in to when you guys say, I want something, but then you're not willing to go and do the things afterwards because your motivation is low. It's because you're burned out. I don't even have the tools to bounce back from this, okay? Somebody said my temper is short. When I am emotionally exhausted, I just lash out at the people that I say I love, the people I say I care about. I just lash out at those people, okay? Someone else said feeling detachment, like I'm alone in the world. Surely I'm the only person that's going through this challenging time. Surely I'm the only person. So I yell at my kids. My temper is short. I snap at my husband. I lash out at the people who are supposed to be able to take it. As opposed to saying, you know what? I love you guys. I just need to go take a nap. I love you guys. It's my hormones today. I love y'all though. I just need to be by myself right now. Even as I settled myself into preparing this morning, my kids came in. They wanted to talk to me about stuff. I love you so much. I can't engage with you right now. I'm preparing for something, but this evening we will totally sit on the floor and play Jenga. Okay, we're totally gonna do this. Somebody else said decreased fulfillment. The things that you used to love, you no longer love. The things that used to give you joy are no longer a vibe. Okay? So when you are thinking about finding your flow, how self-aware are you? Do you catch yourself before you start going off on your family? Do you catch yourself going out to eat, Nicole? Overspending probably on the food. So we're going to overspend and overeat at the same time, right? We're just going to do it all together at the same time. I love leaving the house, no kids, with my husband to go eat. It's my favorite thing. If he would have said that today, I might have canceled. Like, I'll just go do it. You feel me? It's my favorite thing to do. Baby, you said you want to go out? I know we don't have no money. You said you want to go somewhere? Why am I like this? I can't stop it. At the same time, okay? So when you're finding your flow and you're being self-aware, I want to pull these traits up. Do you feel the knot? Do you say, you know what? Something's not right in my mind, in my body. I must be feeling some kind of way. My body is responding to my stress level. My body is responding to me being frustrated or upset about this situation. My mind is conjuring up something inside my body. It's amazing that thoughts are intangible, but they create actual feelable ailments in the body. Okay? Natalie said, I'm overwhelmed when I pull up to the house and I don't want to get out of the car. They got whole memes and reels about you, sis. It's not only you. She said, I don't want to get out the car. Not because I don't love who's inside, but I just need a few minutes. Can we catch ourselves before we get to that point? Or if I do get to that point, I now know how to use healthy emotional habits to move away from that, okay? So number one of finding your flow, tapping into your self-awareness, okay? What is my body saying to me? Am I willing to feel difficult and challenging emotions? Okay, I feel disappointed right now. This is not an indication that I should stop doing what I'm doing. Okay, I feel uncomfortable right now. This also is not an indication that I should stop. This is not a notation that this isn't right for me just because I feel uncomfortable. Some of the best things that I did, had fear and trembling while I did it. But I knew that it was the right thing to do for me. Okay, so that's number one. Have you tapped into your self-awareness? What is your body and your mind telling you? Number two, what does success mean to me? If you're going to find your flow, what does success mean to me? I had to do a lot of analysis on this, okay? Because due to the Instagrammatization of society, due to all of us ingesting more of other people's lives than we ever had before, they have the saying that comparison is a thief of joy. But going beyond that, I would challenge our ideologies to say, okay, wait a second. Have I lost track of what my definition of success is? What does it mean to me? How would I quantify my life being successful? For some women, they say, okay, I want to make $10,000 a month. I want to make $20,000 a month, right? Some of y'all like 1,000 would be great. That's okay too, right? Whatever that starting place, what does success look like for this current season? And some of us are stressing about family moves, business moves that are 5 years out for you. My coach, right? My coach has a program called $2 Million Group. You have to have a minimum, I can't think about how many hundreds of thousands you have to have already made to go into that program. Right? To go into that program. Let me not even stress myself about what they're learning over there. Let me be in this second level group and love it. Right? Let me walk this fully out. And so what happens is we will allow other people's definitions of success to make us feel bad about ours, that push us into seasons of life that we don't even have to be in yet, that we don't even have to worry about yet. Okay? So on a family level, are we spending our days, the time that we have with our loved ones, feeling frustrated? Our emotions are high. We're all over the place. Or are we laughing? Do we feel clear? Right? Do I feel like things are happening in a strategic way in my house? I walked into my kitchen this morning for coffee, of course. I said, "Ooh, it's messy in here. Whose kitchen day is it? Not my kitchen day. Whose kitchen day is it?" I wash dishes like once every 10 days at this point. I got 3 teenagers, right? Whose kitchen day is it? It's not mine. Whose is it? So that way everyone has these expectations and nobody is frustrated or mad at the other person. Are we spending our days with these negative emotions and going back and forth and yelling and fussing and frustrated? Or are we experiencing more laughter, more joy, more healthy communication? Are the people in your family getting along? My oldest son, who's 15, and my 13-year-old daughter, who's a twin, they've been like staying up late and talking. I'm like, what could y'all have to talk about? You're homeschooled, you're together all day. But somehow they feel like they want to have these moments of just the two of them talking in her room, door closed, whispering. Just give me more of that. Give me more of that. Give me more of you guys sitting on the floor together, playing Jenga and getting along. Give me more of that. So in our families, what does success look like? Success for me looks like healthy communication. It looks like you understand when I need space. It means that you understand when I'm not up to doing something for you right now, and we have grace for that. That the Instagrammatization of society, Nicole, will tell us your family's not successful unless this is happening. You're not successful unless this situation. Okay, so we got to look for the places. What does success mean to me and my family? It might mean that on most days, and I posted this picture, on most days of the week, we're going to lay on top of the laundry, which is on the couch. We're going to lay on top of it and we're going to chill. And I'm not going to let the presence of this one thing make me feel like I'm not successful. Nah. Okay, that's not what we're going to do. All right. Now let's talk about, somebody put in the comments like, I don't know about this whole business situation. Let me see where she was. Oh, she says she has great life balance, but her business isn't growing and neither is her income, right? So we talk about this from a business standpoint. I'm going to even lean into this. And y'all can laugh and wave at me if you know somebody who's this way, okay? Where they have internalized you're successful if you have these multiple streams of income. You need to have 7 streams. You need to have 5 streams of income. So they take that so literally. They take it so literally that they run with it. And they say, okay, Christina, I have a candle making business. I sell insurance. I'm a coach. I'm an author. I do this. I do this. I do this. And none of those situations, none of those businesses, they stayed with long enough to make them profitable. Y'all know people who are like so multifaceted, so many layers. They're doing so many different things, right? It's all over the place. And they've not stayed with any one particular thing. Okay? They haven't stayed with any one particular thing to make it be what they know it can be. So a lot of times they may join selling insurance or Mary Kay or whatever. And then when Mary Kay doesn't give them the pink Cadillac in a month or two, they go and they start something else. Nicole said candles plus insurance plus coaching. Plus I'm an author. Plus. We keep adding more and more stuff, okay? Whereas you can sit with and absorb, this is what I do well. I'm Christina. I'm a productivity coach for working mothers, right? But I also have other things underneath this Momathon umbrella, but all of them are profitable. All of them are lucrative. So I'm coach, right? Just coaching is cherry on top. We have the conference, fully sponsored, profitable, sold out, right? We have the coaching and the consulting aspect of it, where I go to organizations, nonprofits, Hyatt hotels, things of this nature, and teach on work-life balance and communication and productivity and all that kind of stuff. It's all the same umbrella. It's all the same umbrella. You're going to get there. It's all under the same thing, though. They're not 5 different industries. It's all the same thing. And then the fourth pillar is we do I do educational advocacy, maternal advocacy, and partner with nonprofits and foundations who want to get the word out about what policies they're working on, what laws they're changing, what programs they're starting that they want you guys to know about, but they're an all-white nonprofit. It's a little hard for them to reach the pro-Black mamas. So they want to lean into some voices, right? That's also lucrative for me. Okay, y'all see what I'm saying? So a lot of times when we have what does success mean to me, we have now added on thing after thing after thing. Some of y'all talk about, oh, I need to make $15,000 a month. Baby, all your bills added up together are 5. Where'd you come up with this number? So now you feel like I need to go and do 10 different things in order to make it to that point. No, you need to pull back. You need to constrain. You need to focus in on those avenues and make it work before you spread out to do other stuff. I couldn't invite collaborative partners, foundations, and organizations to come to a conference that didn't exist. Y'all feel me? I couldn't invite them to come to something that's non-existent. And a lot of us were getting frustrated because we don't actually know what winning looks like for us. We don't actually know. Okay? So we want to make sure that we are learning to constrain. And then beyond that, I'm going to add this on, okay? Most Black-owned, women-owned businesses don't make more than $27K a year. Okay? They don't make more than that. Okay? If you hit, when I started Momathon, I just wanted to help my husband pay a bill. Y'all hear me? A single bill. Not everything, because who wants to pay everything? But I was like, I just want to, when we need a little extra for groceries, I just want to be able to contribute. That's where I started. Okay? I said, if I could just make a couple $100 extra a month. Oh, maybe $1,000 a month. Maybe this, maybe that. Like I was just trying to do enough to contribute. Go get my nails done. And I had to check in. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all know what I mean, right? Just that little bit of extra. Okay? And so if you make it to the point of you started bringing in the extra, you go, girl. Right? If you made it to the point where you're like, oh, I'm making an actual part-time income from home, serving the world and making the world better, that is amazing. If you make it past the point of the women of color owned businesses that only do this certain amount, you the bomb. Go ahead, girl. You made it over 27K, sis, you better. You better do it. That's a milestone that we don't celebrate. We don't celebrate that success because everybody else says if you're not making $500,000 a year, shame on you. If you're not making 6 figures isn't enough, you need 7. Girl, quit. When the majority of the world is struggling, they're in poverty. If I get to have this extra, if I get to contribute this little bit of extra, these couple $1,000s a month, this little bit a month, oh, wow, look, my kids don't have to worry about this. They don't have to worry about that because I've constrained and made it profitable. That's a milestone. That is a place of success that deserves celebration. It deserves celebration. It just does. So we'll let somebody else's definition of success throw us off of what ours is. We'll let somebody else tell us that's not enough money. Okay, that's fine, but I just figured out how to do it. I'm going to celebrate the mess out of that. That's a milestone. It was Jay-Z. I saw this quote this morning. It was so good. He said, I have too much confidence that I will never allow anyone to speed up my process. If you were trying to master this particular thing, constrain yourself from trying to jump all over the place and letting someone else's word speed up your process. Don't let them speed up the process. Number 3, okay? What can I delegate? What can I delegate? If I'm struggling with keeping up, if I'm struggling with feeling overwhelmed, if I feel like I'm burned out, I can't find like this swing that's working for me, then I want you to ask yourself, am I doing too much? Am I doing too much for people who are totally capable? I can recall, I don't even have this in my notes, y'all. I can recall when I got ill. This was when my oldest son was a baby. Maybe he was 18 months because I was pregnant with the twins when this happened. I got an intestinal obstruction while I was pregnant, and they had to evac me from Montgomery, Alabama to Birmingham to a specialty hospital that's focused on neonatal and all this kind of stuff. I was like 18 weeks pregnant. If I had had the babies, there would have been no survival rate, right? By the grace of God, I prayed about my injury while I was in the hospital, and the God, our healer, healed me in the hospital. Therefore, I needed no surgery. Like a healing like this. Like, God, I don't want to be sick no more. Would you touch me? And then it happened like that. No lies. So, but after I came back home, I started to look around thinking, how did this man, this husband of mine, and my baby, how did they survive without me? I said, surely they're struggling. I just know they're barely making it, okay? And when I came home, my husband was like, all right, little man, you're coming with daddy to work today. Get your stuff together. And my little 18-month, 20-month-old son will go pick up his little shoes. He would throw his McDonald's paper away. He was putting his toys in a little toy box that we had in the living room at the time. And I'm looking around like, I thought y'all were dying without me. Aren't you guys suffering without me being here? And come to find out, they were learning to function. My husband was more capable than I ever knew. And even my baby was more capable than I knew. And so fast forward to most of us who are now having maybe not adult children, semi-adult children, right? Kids who are inching up in height. Some of your kids are as tall as you. They're taller. My oldest son is 15. I just put my head on his shoulder the other day, like, you are so disrespectful with your tall self. He's like a good 6 feet, 5'11". My heart is breaking, okay? But I had to remember that my family, the people that I love, the people I live with, I can give them stuff to do so that I don't feel like I'm having to micromanage everybody. But I'm going to tell y'all what the problem is. This is what keeps you from finding your flow. You're guilty of micromanaging because you want to hover. You want to know that it's done just the right way. One of the mamas, she said, but the towels need to go into the thing like this. And my husband, he doesn't put it in there like that. I said, sis, who's coming over to check your towels? She said, oh my God, nobody. I said, who's coming over to see what cabinet the dishes are in? She said, oh my gosh, nobody's coming. I said, who's coming to proofread? I was like, it's the pandemic. Who's coming over to make sure that your house is aligned the way you think it should be? She said, nobody's coming. So here we are being so indoctrinated into believing that things should be our way. That things should be our way. Some of us have wallowed in superwoman syndrome. We talk a lot about that, right? The idea of superwoman syndrome where I have to be the one to come in and save. Some of us have been the primary problem solver. Just identify yourself as that. Oh my gosh, I've been volunteering to solve people's problems. I didn't realize that, but now I do, and now I get to opt out. Now I get to decide from this point forward. I've heard it in this masterclass. I know she wasn't lying. I get to decide now that I'm not going to micromanage people anymore. I'm not going to sign up and say, hey, I'm here, I'll solve your problem. Someone said, girl, yes, I had to become fine with however the baby got washed. I was confident hubby wouldn't let her drown. Short of that, I was good. And there's still some of us, it's like these certain ways that we want things that clearly no one really cares about but you. So you come in, you come in after them to proofread their work, to proofread their efforts. And then I'm going to tell you something. I had a conversation with one of my clients about this, which was, I said, it could very possibly be that your husband doesn't help out the way he used to because you criticized him. And now you're learning the lesson of this is what happens. You go ahead and solve it. You're right, babe. I don't do it right. And I'm not going to fight with you or battle with you to make you see it my way. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to do it. I reserve the option. You told me I don't do it right. You told me the way I discipline the kids isn't good. You told me the way I talk to the boys didn't work. You told me this didn't work. You told me that didn't work. Therefore, you go ahead and be the primary problem solver yourself. And then we end up off kilter. Okay? So, number one, have you tapped into your self-awareness? Do you even know what overwhelm, burnout looks like for you? Can you self-diagnose ahead of time? Number two, what does success mean to you? Or did you pick up somebody else's? Number three, what can you delegate? Okay. And then number four, what can you put on the shelf? What can you put on the shelf? If you're here, it is clearly because you are a change maker, an innovator, you're brilliant. I already know this. I already know this to be true, right? But in the midst of all of this superhero-ness that you have going on, you also can overdo the production of your ideas, okay? Here's what I mean. A few minutes ago, I shared with you guys that Momathon has the 4 pillars, right? We have the conference, which I love. We have the coaching, best job ever. We have the consulting and speaking element that I do for organizations, universities, etc. And then we have the advocacy work that I do as well, okay? All of these things are lucrative parts of the work I do. All of this is parts of the work I do, okay? However, I had to be okay with there being some ideas that need to be put up for now. I got to be okay with that. I have a girlfriend. She's on me every week. Constantly, you need to write a book. You need to write a book. You need to write a book. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like writing a book. I just don't feel like it right now. I know I do. Sure. I just don't feel like it. My heart won't even be in it right now. I'd be more likely to start a podcast where I can do stuff like this every week than I am to sit there. I just don't feel like it right now. It's not my priority. Okay? So that could be aligned with one, me taking somebody else's definition of success, running to do that. And then also me taking an idea that doesn't have to come off the shelf right now. Like when I write a book, I want an agent. Like I want a book tour. I don't have the bandwidth for that right now. But that's when I see me launching a book, this is what I see. Not just me putting out something into the world. We're a big deal over here. Okay? So I'm like, if I'm gonna write a book, I want it to be like this. This is what I envision. So there are some ideas that, sis, you have to be okay with putting it on the shelf for now. I don't have the bandwidth to work on this. Okay? I'll tell you guys another good example is hosting live events. Okay? One of my clients, I've had multiple other ladies who they saw me do the conference and they're like, Christina, I want to add a live event into my repertoire. I want to host a live event. I'm like, that's wonderful. But hosting a live event is way more than just you coming up with the concept. It's way more. Like if you don't want to lean, somebody put lean in the comments again. If you don't want to lean into that budget, if you don't want to lean into the budget the investment that it takes to produce something quality, maybe you should wait. Maybe that's an idea that needs to be put up on the shelf for next year. Because she saw me do the Momathon conference. Year 7 was the bomb. Year 8 was like, what? And she was like, yes, I want to do that. I bet you do. My budget was tens of thousands of dollars. Are you okay with that? Ooh, maybe not. Yes, God gives you the vision, but when they send the invoice, the request for payment, it has your name on it. That you don't get to say Jesus paid it all. Okay? You don't get to do that part. So are you willing to be the person that grows your community to where they'll fly in to come see you? Are you being the person that engages with your folks to find out what they need? Are you the person that knows how to work on partnerships and collaborations and pitch for sponsorships and who to talk to and all these other things? If you're not ready, that's okay. Put it on the shelf. One of the things that I decided to do as a leader was to focus on media during 2019 through 2021 at least, to focus on the media aspects, right? And I pulled back from doing some other types of work to focus on adding more logos to my list. That was my focus for that time period. I didn't want anybody to question, is she who she says she is? Is she that person? Whoa, let me go look and see. Just go Google me. It's okay. You can Google, right? I didn't want anybody to question that. So I let my focus for that time period be working on media, working on public relations, working on TV appearances and being in media things. I got to film with Essence. I'm in the print Essence. I'm on just crazy stuff. She was our keynote for the Momathon conference, the lifestyle editor. I wanted to do Essence everything. That was my goal, because once you do certain things, there's nobody else questioning, are you true to this work or did you start last week? That was what I decided to do. Everything else went on the shelf. How do I become the person that when Essence Magazine thinks about parenting, productivity, work-life balance, having a healthier sex life, like when they talk about it, they think of me. I did that work and everything else went on the shelf. Are you willing to put some things on the shelf? Are you willing to say, you know what? I'm not going to do this right now. Thank you for sharing that, but no, thank you. I don't want to do this right now. This is not what I feel called to do during this time. I don't feel called to write a book right now. I might start a podcast next year. That sounds like fun. But everybody has these different seasons of life, these different phases, but you have to lean into yours. What is my current season of life requiring of me? Requesting of me. Okay. And then finally, number 5. Okay. Who am I committed to being? If you're going to find your flow, I need to know, are you committed to being this person? I was sharing with a client just this morning. She has a live event coming up soon. And I was sharing with her that it's okay to feel the stretch. It's okay to feel the stretch. When I had the first Essence feature, like when we did the filming, and then I don't have the actual magazine in here with me, but when I was in print and I opened the magazine and saw my name in there, I was like, wait a second, this is different. I could physically feel the stretch happening as I grew. Y'all hear me? As I grew to be another woman. For those of you that have been following for some years, y'all are like, wait a second, what Christina's doing now is not what she was doing then. I had to be okay with committing to being a different type of person. The person who's relentless. The woman who, if she doesn't have the relationship, she'll create it. She'll create the relationship. It's okay to feel the stretch. It's a beautiful thing to say, oh my gosh, I'm changing. I'm not who I used to be. I now have different requirements. Right? I'm no longer the woman that I was. Now we're doing something different. So when I go to talk about Momathon, it's like, oh, we do this. Oh, we do this. Oh, we do this and this. Oh, I shoot content. They pay me to do content. They pay me to do this. There are these different areas that are underneath my umbrella now, but they hadn't always been there. I had to be okay with stepping into being that person, feeling the stretch, feeling the negative emotion, feeling scared, feeling overwhelmed, and realizing that all of these feelings are not an indication that I'm doing something wrong or I'm doing something bad or it shouldn't be this way. None of those things are signs or signals that something is off. In fact, it could mean that I'm doing everything right. I told this same client, I was like, listen, you're going to hit a point where you're booked and your husband is booked too. I was like, and this is going to cause this new dynamic in your relationship. This is coming. And you're going to say to yourself, self, we should just go back to what we were doing before. I said, and when that moment happens, you'll know you're moving in the right direction. And then she came to our coaching call, and she was like, I had the thought. I said, which one? She said that I should just quit all of this and go back to what I was doing before. I said, good. Welcome to the next level. Welcome to the next level. Where it's like, oh, it would just be so much easier for me, Nicole, just homeschool my kids and clean up. But that's no fun. That's no fun. I want to have a life that has some adventure to it, where I grow too, not just everybody else growing around me. And so when I say, who am I committed to being? A lot of us say a lot of stuff. A lot of us say a lot of things. We make promises. We make promises, and usually it's to other people. And we make promises to ourselves as well. And in the midst of that, we will work really hard. Hear me. We will work really hard to keep the promises to everybody else. But the ones that we make to ourselves, we break. We work really hard to not let the other people down, only to realize when you don't fulfill that stuff for yourself, it chips away at the woman you are. It chips away at who you're becoming. One of my clients, she was like, I think I'm just going to cancel. I'm not going to do this. I said, no. We can't troubleshoot off of things that you don't finish. We can't work on how to do it differently or do it better if you don't finish it. You're going to finish. And then if you do cancel or quit, you become the person that quits. If you say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be this person, I'm going to hit this goal, you keep all your other promises to other people. And then the one that's for you, you quit it. It chips away at who you know you are as a person. Your own personal audacity, because I said I was going to do this and I didn't do it. I said I was going to be this person. I didn't. Next year, I'll just put it back on the vision board again next year. And so the promises that we have for ourselves, we let go of those. We let go of those. Oh, I'm going to go to the gym 4 times a week. No, I'm going to cancel that because my kid has a practice. And my kid's practice is more important than my health and wellness. I said I was going to invest in myself in this way. But I'm not going to because this over here. Not even necessity. Right? Some of our husbands are like, please go do something for yourself. Please take care of yourself. Please find something that gives you joy. And we turn it down in order to meet the needs of others. And somebody said, abandon what you yourself need or who you yourself said you were going to become. Okay? And so you have to be willing to work on your mindset and your skill sets. You have to be willing to work on doing it, executing on it, however good or not as good it might turn out, so that you can troubleshoot on it and fix it later. Okay? And so all of these things, all of these places end up being these ideas that end up getting canceled out. I said I was going to be this person and I didn't. I said I was going to do this. I didn't do it. Okay? I said I was going to end up facilitating X, Y, and Z. I didn't. Okay? And so you have to be willing to be the person that does it to the end, that finishes it out, and then makes the amendments, even if it feels uncomfortable. Because something being uncomfortable doesn't mean it's wrong. And working on your strategy and your communication and how you talk to your people, all of those things play a role in how much in your winning season. Okay, so let's go back over our questions one more time. Hi, Inga. Tapping into your self-awareness. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to see yourself and say, this is what my body is doing? This is what my hormones are doing. Okay. When it's my cycle time, the week before, I'm wondering, like, why did I even have kids in the first place? I'm like, I don't like none of y'all. My cycle coming next week. That's it. Okay. If y'all know, if you know, you know. Okay. So are you self-aware enough of yourself to say, this is what my body is doing. This is what I'm experiencing. Okay. Number 2, what does success mean to me? Or have I adopted someone else's definition of success? Number 3, what can I delegate? Who else can do this? A lot of the cleaning, a lot of the stuff that you all say I'm so overwhelmed by, your kids could totally be picking that stuff up. My 5-year-old can vacuum. Okay. Even the little tiny ones, they're able to contribute and do some things. So you ain't running behind people. I was telling my client this morning, I was like, I serve my family with love. I am not their servant. There's a difference. And on our journey to being fulfilled women, we can end up wrapping up what we do for our families as the culmination of who we are. As opposed to, hi, I am a whole human. Hi, I do have projects that I love. Hi, I have a business and work that I love that impacts the world. Like all of this is all just a part of it. Okay. Number 4, what am I willing to put on the shelf? Do you have 5 different ideas and you're trying to map all of them out at one time and it's not working? It's because you haven't constrained. You haven't streamlined it so that it's more lucrative. This is for those of you who are working on businesses and you're like, okay, Christina, my business isn't changing. My income's not changing. I want to do this. I want to do that. Okay, we got you. We hear you. We hear you, but maybe you're doing too much all at one time. I've been live now for about an hour. No one has come running in my room talking about having bandwidth, capacity, right? Can I be this person and do the things that I need to do in order to be that woman? Okay. And then number 5 is, who am I committed to being? Am I committed to changing my capacity? That capacity is actually just a notion that's in my mind. What if you're not overwhelmed? What if you're not burned out? What if you have, in actuality, all of the energy that you need to do everything you got to do today? What if this is actually the case? Instead of, oh, I'm so tired. Oh my goodness, I'm just so worn out. Oh, I'm so overwhelmed. What do you end up being? Overwhelmed. Okay? Just get more of it. What if capacity is just a thought in your mind and you get to stretch it as you desire? Okay? And so we have those 5 questions. Are you into your self-awareness? What does success mean to you? What can you delegate? What will you put on the shelf? And who am I committed to being? Okay? Those 5 questions, you can grab them, run to your journal later today and say, wow, what signs of lack of self-awareness do I have? Okay. What signs do I have? What ideas am I not going to put on? What ideas am I not going to worry about for 2024? That's allowed to. Okay. And so that's the masterclass. All right. 5 prompts, 5 questions, 5 lessons that you guys can grab and run. Okay. And now for those of you who want to ask questions and you want more information, I'm going to stick around for a little bit to explain some of what we have coming up next. And if you guys have questions, go ahead and start dropping them in the caption. If you're on the Momathon Diaries page, I should be able to see them here. And then I also have my phone close by so that I can go and peek in on my other Facebook pages and all that jazz to see what questions you all are having. Okay. I want to give you guys the opportunity to start working on this today. Okay. To start making decisions around who you're going to become today. I have seen, and everyone who went to the conference is going to laugh about this. I have seen across the board that the longer we take to make decisions, the longer we take to take action, the longer we take to like move forward, the less likely you are to do it. Okay, the less likely you are to do it. Alexia, hey girl, the last pillar is, who am I committed to being? Okay, are you willing to be the person that feels uncomfortable emotions and leans into those things in order to make sure that you succeed? Okay, and so I have seen that the longer we take to do things, the longer we sit in, I'm gonna call it imposter syndrome, but imposter syndrome has different parts. So it has the perfectionism, procrastination, analysis paralysis, where you think about all the ideas and do nothing. And then people pleasing, also, where we want to make other people happy about our decisions and the shifts that we're making. A lot of times when we take so much time to think about what we're going to do, we end up doing nothing. And I see these same women, right, posting about, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I'm so overwhelmed. Oh, I'm just drowning. But wait a second. We gave you all these ways to figure out how to eliminate this feeling, this mind drama, but you haven't grabbed it, right? What's going on internally that we feel like we're not grabbing those things, okay? And so I'm going to share with you guys for a few minutes about the mastermind that we have coming up in January, okay? This is for the women who see value and strength in community. Okay. You know that you are a change maker. You're an innovator. And you're like, Christina, I want to work on stretching my capacity. I want to feel like I have the bandwidth for any challenge. I have the bandwidth for any challenge. That I get to opt out. Like just as much as I opt into doing all the things and being overwhelmed and feeling emotionally exhausted, I also get to opt out from that. I also get to make the decisions that I don't want to go on this roller coaster ride anymore. The roller coaster ride of emotions, okay? The roller coaster ride of doing all the things. Nicole says she's ready. She already in there. Right? The roller coaster ride of doing all the things. And so what I have learned over the course of time is that we have what I'm going to call the burnout cycle, okay? Call it the burnout cycle. This is what happens when you come to any motivational empowerment event. It happened at the conference this year, no doubt, where we were in the room with so many magical women who look like us, who love like us, worship like us, valued family like us, had similar business goals like we do. You left pumped up, excited, ready to take over the world. You'll leave this masterclass excited, pumped up, ready to take over the world. Okay. But then what happens is you go to take action. You run towards the finish line doing all the things. You get overwhelmed and burned out from doing all the things. You slip into a cycle of shaming yourself for being the person that got burned out in the first place. You know what I'm talking about. And then you sit in that shame and that low value cycle, as my coach calls it, until you cycle back around again and feel motivated and excited. get excited, do all the things, get burned out from doing all the things, shame yourself for feeling burned out, and then continue the shame until you shake yourself up into being excited again. And then unless we break that cycle, around and around and around we go. Okay. So the invitation is open to you all for those who want to join myself and several other sisters on a journey. On a journey. Okay. It is a time for us to learn. It's a time for us to grow and implement on purpose. It's a time for us to increase our capacity incrementally. Okay. So I'm not about to drop you into a class and say, hello, drop you in the middle of the ocean and tell you to swim back. You said you want to be this person. Here's all the things that you need to do to be this person. All the things you need to do to get grants, proposals, grow your business, learn the market, learn how to do this, learn, oh, you want to have an event, or you want to, and you start throwing stuff at people, and that ends up feeling overwhelming. That's what makes us feel like we're starting to drown. Okay. And so the mastermind will offer coaching support from January 2024 through Q1 and Q2 of the year. So we're going to coach you guys until summer break. All right. And the intention is to help you stay in that high value level of thinking, the same thing you grabbed when you came to the conference, the same thing you feel when you feel seen here in this place. You get to operate like that all year. You get to operate like that all year. And then you get to go YOLO with your family for the summer. And then by the time we come back together, it'll be for the Momathon conference. Okay. But I realized when we were stepping away last year, the idea is that we don't just let you guys go and you don't have a plan of action to make it happen. How do I know what's the right thing? How do I know what to leave on the shelf? Do I know that? Am I sure about what's coming next? Do I believe I can create my own next? Like, do I believe that? I didn't have a publicist. I didn't have anybody to tell me how to pitch Essence. I had to learn how to do it. I had to learn how to create the door. Not just to create the door, but to continue to open it. So whenever I want, maybe after like the second time with Essence, I was like, baby, you think I could do a third one? Is that being greedy? And I pitched for number 3 and got an article that was only me. Just me talking about your sex life and your marriage. And then we had a 4th one that I got to contribute to. And then the lifestyle editor was at the conference. I was like, how much can I ask for? How much can I do? Can I create more doors for myself? Can I create relationships with partners, collaborators, sponsors? Can I create this relationship? Or am I sitting around waiting for somebody to hand me a yes? Okay. The reason that we find our flow, the reason we learn to delegate, the reason we learn to communicate better is because, mama, you got big things to do in this world. You have big things to do. And sometimes the how is what stifles us. Okay. And so every week we're going to meet to help you incrementally create your plan, how to execute on it well, how to troubleshoot after it's done, and then surround you with exponential support so that winning is a guarantee. I have a client right now. She has so many podcasts and media opportunities and all these things. She said, Christina, I just got to cancel everything till January. She said, my mind can't take it. I said, that's fine. Cancel it all. I just want you to know that you can turn the faucet on and off whenever you want. As a leader, as a wife, as a mom, as a woman who loves God, she was like, listen, I already know. I have big things to do in this world. I get to control the pace. I get to decide how fast it comes to me. I get to determine if this is right or if it's not right. I also get to politely decline. But some of us are waiting for someone to hand us a yes instead of knowing how to go and create it. Okay. So the goal is to create a streamlined plan. And then beyond that, how do I implement it? How do I gently stretch my capacity so that I don't feel like I'm drowning, so I don't feel like I'm overwhelmed? Okay. So that I don't feel like, okay, Christina, I just don't have the space. That's fine. You can just cancel everybody until next year. You're allowed to do that. Make it hit this milestone. Just move everybody to January. That's okay too. All right. But a lot of us, one of the ladies that was there in our in the VIP day for the conference, she was straight up like, I missed so many opportunities. I missed so many opportunities because I was drowning. People reached out to me via email, inviting me to stuff, saying, hey, listen, we want you to come here. We want you to do this. We want you to do that. And she said, I didn't even respond because I felt like I don't even have the capacity to be this person. What would happen if we got to control the faucet, we got to create the door, and we got to be the person that said, you know what, I'm open. I have space for this greatness. I got space for this. And sometimes our personal capacity can make us feel like, we have so many gaps missing. Okay. And so we're going to be coaching together on a weekly basis. Okay. And really making sure that we're getting to the other side of the things that have had us stuck in the past. Okay. I want to give you the opportunity to work on these skill sets now so that these things don't slow you down going into next year. And when you do have periods of slowing down, which you will, you know how to adjust. You have the support around you to say, hey, that's not a missed opportunity. You just politely declined. I had to turn down an opportunity. Someone wanted to give me an award, an entrepreneurship, women's leadership award. And I was like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. Like, I'd love to accept, only to find out that my mother has to have, has an appointment. And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't be there. I hate to disappoint her, but I'm going to be about presence. I'm going to be about presence. I'm going to be about my family first, all the stuff with y'all, right? And that's it. Like, if that's all I did. Learning how to create the opportunities. This won't be my last one. God knows how to spin the block for me. Okay? He just knows how to do that. So being the woman who's a change maker, you're innovative, you're a thought leader. You know that you have, I see Nicole and Natalie here. They are change makers in the area of homeschooling. In the area of homeschooling, they are veteran homeschoolers. It's what they do. All right. It's who they are. And so they are always able to say, I'm a thought leader in this space. I know I've thought of stuff nobody else is out here talking about. Okay. And so every single one of us, one of the things that I love about our community is that we all are allowed to be a big deal. We're all allowed to be a big deal. Okay. So no one person, because I'm a homeschooling mom and Natalie's a homeschooling mom and Nicole is a homeschooling mom and Inga, she's floating around. She's a homeschooling mom and coaches too. And all these things, just everyone's out here, but everybody gets to be a big deal because the world is so big. Right. So we get to do that. And so in addition to weekly coaching support. Okay. Some of you all have said, I don't want to get lost in the sea of other people. If there are 15, 20, 30 other people in here with me, I'm worried that this is going to happen, right? Or I'm not going to be seen, or my question won't be answered. So every single person that comes to be a part still gets one-to-one calls and attention. Okay. So that means that at the start of the mastermind and again in the middle of the mastermind, every person gets a one-to-one call with me so we can work on your strategy in living color. Okay. I just did one the other day where sis was shooting her shot for a really big sponsorship. And she said, Christina, I don't know what to say on the phone with these people. I don't know what to say. I'm not sure what to do. I said, okay, that's fine. Let's do it now because time is of the essence. Okay. So we get to implement that and work on the strategy. Whatever she's investing in the mastermind is going to be back to her multiple times over because she's going to get all those sponsorships. She knows what to do now. Okay. So this is for the women who are shooting their shot for the big ass. Okay. So we have the January Q1 through Q2 coaching. You get the touch of one-on-one. Okay. And then one other special touch that I want to give to all of our ladies as well is public relations and proposal review support. Okay. public relations and proposal review support. So every month, I'll be taking, if you're shooting your shot for something big, if you're like, Christina, I need to send this off, I need you to take a look. Everybody, I will put my eyes on your stuff. I'll be showing you all what I do that has added tens of thousands of dollars to my business revenue this year. Okay. And what we want to do is make sure that you feel surrounded and supported. Okay, this is what you need to do. You need to say this differently. Include this. Don't put that, right? These different things that I have seen increase the likelihood of you getting that response, increase the likelihood of you getting the yeses when it looks like this. Okay. I'm sure my way is not the only way, but I can say for a fact that my way has added very much so to the bottom line for the Momathon business this year. Okay. I have had to learn to be my own publicist. I had to learn how to create my own doors. Okay. But you guys don't have to Google it. You all will not have to Google it. You'll be able to, have a strategy that works. Okay. So we have all of these things happening. Let me make sure I have added all the goodness in. Okay. One thing that we do is we prize community here. And so in addition to the Q1 and Q2 coaching, proposal review, all of the ladies who are part of the mastermind this year will be my VIP guests for the Momathon conference in October. And while October seems so far away, we have to learn how to plan for the future, right? And because we value community, I had the joy of hosting. It was probably over 20 of us, right, Nicole? It was a lot of us, and they came up to my presidential suite. I took everybody to lunch for that Friday of the conference, and we worked through these challenges in real life. We got to practice doing discovery calls and marketing and all of these things. It was the best time. And we cried and we laughed and we workshopped, and we really made it such a very tangible, it was so real. So we brought everybody up. It was like woman after woman coming in the suite. It was crazy. I was like, oh, this is so amazing. And we got to really work on it in living color. Somebody said, shut up. Yeah, girl, I'm gonna keep on talking. But it was the best time. And so such a multi-layered call to action that's happening today. Because I don't want just everybody in a mama. I want the women who know they're a big deal, who are navigating the multifaceted existence of their life right now. And they're like, Christina, I know that my limited capacity is affecting me being able to ask for big things. I know for a fact that my limited capacity is confining how much I can ask for my next level. I'm barely hanging on this current one. Some of us have been sitting in survival mode for so long. Okay? Survival mode for so long. It's just what we know. Yeah. Okay, enough. We're going into a new year. I want the women who are decision makers. I want the women who are like, yes, that's me. I want the women who are like, okay, Christina, I'm about to get this family together. I'm about to get my Megan knees back. We're probably going to lose 20 pounds together in this mastermind. We're going to do all the things to make sure that we become the women that we said we were going to become at the start of the year. At the start of the year. Okay, so you get the group coaching weekly. You get the one-to-one touch from yours truly, where we work together, you and I, just like we are right now. You also get proposal and pitch review. Imagine if you're hosting an event and you're like, okay, I've invested in this mastermind, but now I know exactly what to say to create the opportunity. The Momathon conference, though my budget was lit this year, was fully sponsored and profitable. Okay, so you get to learn how to work through these details and create that. Okay, you get the community both online and in person, so that you have this exponential support, this surrounding bubble of love. Like, one thing we are is just lots of love. Okay, and we're able to support you. Okay, so for all of the things that we're creating together, the investment is less than half of what I charge for one-on-one coaching, which is crazy. But I literally created it post-conference for you guys. Okay. And so while my normal coaching is $5,000, the investment for the mastermind and working through Q1 and Q2 is only $2,000. All right. And yes, if you need to work some things out We need to talk about it on a consult. Okay. And so on my feed, if you're watching on Facebook, I'm sure you are, you should be able to see in the comments, there's a pinned post or pinned comment in there. Okay. And it has a link for you to book a discovery call with me. Okay. If you have questions, book the discovery call. If you're curious, book the discovery call. If you're trying to figure out how you're going to do it, book the discovery call. Okay. If you've decided I'm in, book the call. Okay. If you know I need this kind of support, I need somebody who's going to coach me through my marriage challenges, me getting my kids on board, me making my business a big deal while I do all these other things, still being present at home, being available. I want somebody that's going to show me how to take it from 0 to 100. I know my idea is a big deal. I know that I need that personal touch from a coach that cares. I know I want the personal touch from a coach I can Google. And Nicole is probably cracking up. Because how many times you guys follow somebody online and you don't even know, like, I know you said you're the best, but can I research this at all? Can I go look and see from a reputable source? Everybody says they're a big deal, right? My goal is to help you all increase your capacity so that people can Google you too, right? That you become good soil. And I'll finish our time together today. And if anybody has questions, feel free to come bounce them off, okay? That our job as leaders, our job as women who facilitate and are change makers and innovators, our job is to plant the seed. Our job is to have good soil. Okay, our job is to have good soil. So you have to prepare your business, prepare your platform, prepare, are you Googleable, prepare all these things, right? So that when people go to research you and make sure that you are who you say you are, that there's tangible proof. I took a whole year off from doing all the things to make sure my brand, my platform was sound. I wanted to make sure, baby, if you want to look somebody up, you can go Google me. I wanted to make sure that I mastered talking to you all so that when you come to a Facebook Live, when you come to an event, you feel like I've never felt more seen. I've never felt more in my life like I'm in the right place. I've never felt that more ever before. Okay? And so the intention of this mastermind is to surround you all with support, with coaching power, with love, so that all the decisions that you make going into the new year are made from this very sound, well-managed mind. Not from you being all over the place, but for you being the person that is like, okay, I know what my next thing is. It's easy for me to make this decision to cut off all the other options. I'm just going to do this right now. Mastering this will make the biggest difference for me. Mastering this will make the biggest difference for me. Okay? And so you guys have the opportunity to lean in. If you have questions, book a call. If you feel like it could work, but I'm not really sure, book the call. If you feel like I do know I need to get myself together over the course of this time next year, book the call. Okay? And let's talk about you being a part of the mastermind. All right? Bringing all of our excellence, all of our big dealness to one space to surround each other with support, strategy, coaching, teaching on all the things to make sure that it's our winning season. Okay? And we don't roll the dice to make it our winning season. We actually have the tools to create the winning season. It's your job to take the seed and put it in the ground. Okay? It's your job to grab the seed and put it in the ground. God's job is the sun and the temperature and the rain. But it can rain outside, and if there's no seed in the ground, there'll be nothing produced. There'll be nothing produced. So what we want to do is make sure that our soil is good, make sure that our environment is good, make sure that we are who we said we were going to become, so that we're walking into that new level with audacity. Okay? So that's it for today. Y'all got your 5 prompts to help you gather your life. You also have a very practical next level, next tool. Okay. So the investment for For the mastermind, like I said before, is 2K. We're going to do one-on-one calls, group coaching and support. We're going to have you guys as my VIPs at the conference next year. All kind of amazing goodness. Okay. Maybe we're not half filled already, close to it. So if you're interested, hit that link that's in the comments and run to book your call. Okay. Everyone needs to have come through the door by December 15th. Everybody got that? December 15th, you need to have come into the door. All right. Had that call booked so that we can work on creating your strategy. Okay. I love you all dearly. I'm about to go and switch gears into doing all the things. I look forward to meeting with you all over the next week or so via the consultations. Okay. Love you all, and we'll talk soon.